there was a little place down the road from us, and it used to do all the radar for the trawlers. And this is another little story. Is the Dougie Collins used to work for him, and he used to play for Grimsby Town, and he eventually went to Burnley. He was sold on to Burnley when they was in the First Division, the old First Division then, Dougie Collins. And he was tapping into your resources, or trying to. He was coming down. He got to know Berry and that through the company somehow. But I always remember one particular time he brought a birthday present down and a box of chocolates, and give me it to give it to Berry. Can you pass these on to Berry, please? Reluctantly, I did do, but that was Dougie Collins then, all them years ago. And he went on to play, say, Premiership football then. But he did play for Grimsby, didn't he, to start with? And it was Mark, I don't know whether it was Marconi or something like that. There was like a radar company down there. They did all the radar for the shipping. And it was between us and the ice house.
It was, yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, I think it was a coal salt and tanning was the biggest place. But the shops around there, all around the block, you know, for the industry itself, anything to do with shipping, there would be. So like I said, there was one big shop, and it was sold all the clocks, didn't it? Ship's clocks, and did all the shop repairs and stuff like that. But it was a short stay, really. As I said, we ended up in King Edward Street, didn't we? Eventually.
We sort of met there officially.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he knew me at school, and I told him to take a walk or something.
Well, when you left Elliston Street School the last year, it was like they used to have a dance at the end of the year for the fourth years, didn't they?
Yeah.
And we were sent down to Reynolds Street School, and we all lined up along the wall, and all the girls lined up the other side. And you're supposed to go across and invite yourself a partner for the dance, which was held at the Winter Gardens or wherever it was. I think it was the Winter Gardens. And I always remember coming across, and I asked you at that particular time.
I can't remember.
Blew me straight out. Sorry, I've got a partner, she said. I went away cursing and mumbling. And you always swear blind that you can't remember that.
I can't, no.
It was, and I ended up taking somebody from our street, Valerie Spencer, I think it was. But then I met her at work. And I certainly got involved with the football and the dancing and yeah. So, but that was.
We used to have to go out and get our cakes.
I used to be sent out for the cakes.
Because he was the youngest until Pete Robertson came. But it was always you or Pete Calladine who used to go and get the cakes for our tea breaks.
Not the fish cakes.
Not fish cakes. No, it was fish cakes for George Pasternak. He was really a strange man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Went to live at Covenant, but he used to bike it.
But he was.
It's a long way, isn't it, Covenant to Grimsby Dock? And I think he used to stay in some sort of digs.
He was some kind of refugee. I don't know whether he was a prisoner after the war, or there was a lot of Poles in the country then.
They came over.
And stayed.
45.
And he used to have some strange habits where he would bring all sorts of stuff in to eat that was unedible. The sandwich he used to bring, there was green mouldy sandwiches and all sorts he used to bring, and cheese and there was one particular time I remember him. He went onto the dock and he brought back a cod's head, and he put it in an oven. It wasn't a microwave, it wasn't microwave then, but he put it in the oven for his lunch. Well, he stunk the place out. He just cleared the shops completely. But he was going to eat this, that was his dinner, this cod's head.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. But he had some weird and wonderful habits. I tell you what they used to have as well. Well, you can see it, but they used to call all the fishermen that used to come from abroad, from the Norwegian fishermen and stuff like that. They used to call them the Scrubs. It was just a name that they had. Everybody knew them as the Scrubs. The Scrubs were coming round, and they used to be selling all the watches, and they used to come round all the shops and factories around the dock selling watches and things like this. And he was the only one that could converse with them, the Pole. And he knew that, I don't know how it was the language, but he seemed to be able to get round the language and stuff like that to get all the deals for the cheap watches. But that was, it was always around. We always classed them as the Scrobs. Any foreign fisherman coming into port was the Scrobs. I don't know where that name come from, but no doubt somebody will tell you eventually.
Yeah, because it means something. I can't remember what it means.
But that was basically it for Cross Street. But it was a busy time. It was.
It's a busy street. Fishdock Road was really busy, and I used to walk it from Rabbit Square to the office. And I used to take whistles and all sorts. It was lovely. I mean, if you was a girl, I mean, you make sure you had high heel shoes on, and it was so dangerous walking down Fishdock Road and there's ice and there's slime and it stunk to high heaven. Could never wear the same thing twice because you just smelled of fish.
Yeah, it was a bit of a horrendous place to work, really. But the thing is, you just assumed that everybody was doing the same, so you just got used to it. The smell of fish, you just took it home with you, whether you worked among it or not, you took it home with you.
I mean, we noticed it when one of our son-in-laws come home, didn't he? And he worked on the dock. And I used to make him change outside.
This is years afterwards. I mean, I got into the engineering trade years afterwards, and I finished up with the company here at Immingham. And the last 25 years of my life, of my working life, I worked for Fabricon here at Immingham. And I run a fabrication shop. I actually run the fabrication shop. So I've gone from a joiner to the engineering trade, right the way through to running for the petrochemical industry, all the big pipes for the refineries and stuff like that. I worked on the refineries and stuff like that. So it's got a full circle from me, from apprentice joiner to boat building to mould making, and I even worked at Scunthorpe at one spell, didn't I? For
so then the son-in-law, he worked on the dock, he'd fill it in and work in the fish. And he would come home from work, because they lived with us for a while, didn't they? Oh,
and he stunk
and
to
he
my heaven.
stunk. You wouldn't believe
He
it.
come in my house on a night time and I couldn't believe it, the stench of the fish.
Because we had some outhouses, we made him change out there.
So,
And then he got his bath and what have you. Oh, it was horrendous. I
said,
can't
"Well,
imagine.
I'm going to swap you a job," I said. So I got him in with me engineering.
Yeah, changed his job, yeah. But it was, I mean, we would, and it must have smelt worse in our day, because it was thriving.
But everybody smelt the same. Everybody stunk of fish then.
Yeah.
Were there many women then working in the docks? Or?
No, there weren't that
No,
many.
there weren't a lot, and I think this is why, you know, if you walk down Fishdock Road, you got the attention. Any woman walk down Fishdock Road, even the ladies that worked in Solly's in the cafes, you know, and some of those were okay, but some, you know, was a bit.
There really was the community centre. Them little
Yeah.
cafes was the community
Yeah.
centre for the docks, and there was
They knew everyone and they knew everything. You wanted to know anything.
sort of
you went
every
in the
third
cafe.
street and every
Yeah. And
street,
used to
every
call
third
them
street they'd have one of these little. We'll call them Solly's.
Solly's, yeah.
I don't know
Because
whether
he
there was all.
originally was Salisbury's, but you know, as the years went on,
Yeah.
but they were still always known as Solly's cafes. Yeah,
Well, Christmas we used to have Christmas drinks in there and everything.
yeah.
Everything was all around there. I remember that.
I mean, after a while, they allowed us, me and Kathy, to use their toilet, and it was a sight to be seen. You know, what exactly?
Yeah. Yeah.
A bathroom.
No, it was.
No washing facilities or anything. It was a toilet, and that was it.
Yeah, it was. There was rough old places then, but everybody was in the same boat.
Yeah, and they weren't much better at the ice house. They would be the same. It would be.
And the choices was there then. I mean, there wasn't many chemical. It was the chemical plants that and the refineries stuck up when they did, and people started to move away from the docks and move down onto the chemical plants. And my father did the same. He come off fishing, and ended up as a steel erector. He ended up still as a rigger, if you like, ship's riggers to riggers on shore,
on the shore,
and then steel
yeah.
erecting. And all my brothers, well, my other brothers, two brothers, and my father ended up steel erecting for the rest of their lives. And so the oldest brother, he's dead now, bless him. Dad's dead. But it was that period. I think it was that period where people started to drift away from the dock when the dock was dying,
Yeah.
and started to move into chemical and the refineries and offshore. That's another
Because
thing.
it was late 60s when the dock started to die, if you like.
I even had a spell offshore, didn't I? That was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Gas field here out off
In the
Easington
80s,
in the field there. I did about 18 months out there. But that was an experience and a half. But it's a long way from the ice house. Yeah. But I've been retired now. What, 2 years? 3 years. Time passed when you're enjoying yourself.
Do you ever go back to the docks now?
Well, we have done. When his
Occasionally.
brother comes up, don't you? We have a run round.
I've climbed the dock since, and the dock
You
tower.
climbed
I've been
the
up the
dock
dock
tower,
tower. We took the family down there, and the daughter took the daughter, and you came with me, didn't you?
Yeah, and we was all going up, and she just turned waffy, if you like, halfway up. So I had to bring her down. So I never got to go all the way up. But she was obviously, she didn't know, she was frightened of heights.
But me two brothers, I've got a younger brother and a brother that's slightly older. He's living in Bedford now, but they're both envious of the fact that I've been to the top of the dock tower. I mean, I've climbed Sydney Harbour Bridge. I've been to the top of Sydney Harbour Bridge. I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower. They're not impressed with that. It's the fact that I've been to the top of Grimsby dock tower.
Dock tower,
It's
yeah.
that rope iron
Yeah.
Yeah,
ladder, isn't
it is. Yeah, inside.
In
Yeah,
a chicken mesh.
yeah, it's inside. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bit scary.
yeah,
Isn't it?
it seems to move.
Yeah, it all looks a bit vulnerable, doesn't it? But I think they do a few trips for abseiling and
They
stuff
just
like
done
that.
one,
haven't
haven't they, for
they? Yeah,
abseiling?
they have. Yeah.
Because we was going to, Robert was going to come up for that, but he was moving house,
Yeah. So.
so he had to renege on it.
Yeah,
But if I can work my brother into abseiling, I think I'll try and work that for him. I don't think I'd do it. Yeah. But
I would do it if I was fit enough.
you would, don't you? Yeah. So you have done a parachute jump, haven't you?
Yes. On my own. I didn't have anybody with me. Because everybody jumps with somebody now, don't they?
Yeah.
But I did it on my own.
Yeah. But yes, it's certainly been a circle for me. And it seems to be going quicker now I'm retired than it did when I was working. I used to wish the days away here. The day starts and it's gone. I used to wish my life away when I was working. Terrible. But yeah.
Can you remember much about the canteen then, at all?
No, I can't honestly.
And
Other
the
than
queue.
yeah.
How much was a fish cake?
Oh,
It'll be pence.
it'd be pennies, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't just us that used it. I mean, there was even Coal Salt, because they had their own canteen, but some of their people went down the ice house for the fish and chips. So,
There must have been people coming in and out and
yeah, just,
Yeah, it was like a fish shop queue that I'd gone to. It was like a canteen. I remember it being a canteen. It must have been. I'm sure it was on an upper level. And but, I mean, people will tell you that later anyway. But I'm sure it went up a flight of stairs to get up to this, like a restaurant. It was like a restaurant type place, but it had a queue for the fish and chips as well, where you could go in for either a meal or. And I used to have to get in that queue with the rest, with me tuppence for a fish cake.
yeah.
And then he'd complain if it was cold when I got back. It felt like sticking it in his ear.
Yeah, but you weren't allowed even then, you'd have hit your back.
Yeah,
He was a big bloke, wasn't he, really?
yeah.
Can you remember any of the machinery inside or anything?
No,
or just the
I
same?
can't, to be honest. I never actually got into the
Yeah.
factory at all.
I mean, it was quite an imposing building, there wasn't. I said the only entrance I remember is because the men used to stand along the top where they swung the ice out onto those little, what do they call them?
Conveyor belts.
No, the little wheelie things. There was like milk
Trolleys.
floats. Three-wheel milk float type things, and they used to put the boxes on there and take them down to the
Yeah.
pontoons.
Yeah.
But other than that, because it was, I tell you what it was like. It was like Brigger Gate. It's Sally Army now, isn't it? That place down Brigger Gate, without the windows. Really imposing, straight up and down, quite an imposing building. But that's all them windows in the Sally Army, they never used to be all them. So I could put it on the same sort of architects, if you like,
Yeah,
that did that building, that did that one.
yeah.
We,
But if you ever get a chance to look up Robert Milby, my granddad,
Robert Milby.
yeah, and it would be in the
50s.
50s, and as I said, he died in the dock. That was tragic. That to retire and then to lose your life in the dock after all that at sea, and the sea some and it was all. He used to do the long haul trips, you know, to Iceland and all that.
Well, it didn't have any safety until what you call Lillian
No.
Blocker started routines.
Yeah,
She did a grand job out of all, didn't she?
yeah.
To get safety on the ships.
But no, I can't. Other than that, as I said, really, it was a short period, wasn't it? Because
It's
we
a long
moved
time
on.
ago, because I mean, he's got a terrible memory.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me. Remember all these names.
yeah,
But if you could find Pete Calladine, and it's years since I spoke to him,
he used to live in College Street, didn't he, in Cleethorpes?
but he went and he worked for some part of the ministry in the RAF. And he used to go all over the world. But every now and again he'd send me an email or a letter. But I hadn't heard from him for years. And he was living in Salisbury, the last time I heard. But I don't know, but he was a very good storyteller.
He was, yeah. Yeah,
He would remember.
he was better educated, to be honest. He got a better education background,
Yeah.
and I think that's what got him into the RAF. And he escaped. Another one that's escaped.
But he was a good storyteller.
We used to sit in this, as I said, in the workshop itself. The only heating in the place was like one of the pot fireplaces, you know. We used to sit all around, tea break or something like that. Always in the workshop, and there was never ever canteens and things like that. You sat in the workshops on boxes or whatever you could find. And pot-belly stove we used to have in the middle of the workshop. And he used to sit down there and discuss all the topics of the world at tea breaks. And he used to amaze me, Pete, the fact that he was so young. He was sort of he was 16, 17, 18 year old, and he could converse with all these this older generation. And he used to mesmerise me, sit there listening to the conversations, and it was way above my head. But he could get into the politics of
His
things
dad
and
was a
all that.
minister.
Yeah, clever lad.
Oh my God.
We'll have that on film.
That's the dog snoring. It's not me.
It's boring you.
Yeah.
Boring him.
Yeah.
Boring stories.
No, it's good. Good to hear people. Other people have only been there 4 years, but to get different snapshots of different
Yeah.
eras there, it seems
Yeah.
to change a lot, like from
Yeah.
60s to 70s to what.
I say you got to the end of the 60s and the dock started to really go down. That's when it started disintegrating the docks. I mean, it took what, about 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years
I would imagine it was
to be nothing.
Cod War started all the part of it, wasn't it? The Cod Wars,
Yeah.
the Icelandic trawlers and that. And now we rely on them now for bringing the fish in.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Call it a wrap.
Yeah.
I hope you haven't been too boring.
No, it's lovely.
Who was it?